For decades, Hollywood carefully controlled the stories audiences were allowed to hear. Behind the glamour, many people struggled to live authentically while navigating fame, public expectations, and personal identity. Today, attitudes have changed, allowing more public figures to share their experiences openly. In this video, we'll explore the journeys of remarkable transgender celebrities whose lives have challenged stereotypes, inspired millions, and helped reshape how the entertainment industry understands identity, courage, and acceptance. Andreja Pejíc built an extraordinary fashion career by challenging traditional ideas about beauty long before she publicly shared her personal journey. Born in Bosnia and Herzegovina during the Balkan conflict, she and her family later settled in Australia, where she was discovered by a modeling scout as a teenager. Her distinctive appearance quickly attracted international attention, allowing her to work for some of the world's most prestigious fashion designers while modeling both menswear and womenswear collections. Although her career appeared glamorous from the outside, Andreja has explained that professional success did not eliminate the personal questions she carried about her identity. For years, she balanced an international modeling career while privately considering how openly living as herself might affect both her future and her place within one of the world's most competitive industries. In 2014, Andreja publicly announced her transition, becoming one of the first internationally recognized transgender fashion models. Rather than slowing her career, the decision marked the beginning of an important new chapter. She continued appearing in major campaigns, magazine editorials, and runway shows, while helping increase transgender visibility throughout the fashion world. Today, Andreja is admired not only for her modeling achievements, but also for her openness and advocacy. She has spoken about the importance of authenticity, self-acceptance, and creating opportunities for future generations of transgender models. Her journey demonstrates that genuine confidence comes not from fitting society's expectations, but from embracing one's identity with honesty, resilience, and determination. Leverne Cox transformed television history by becoming one of the first transgender actresses to achieve widespread mainstream recognition while using her success to promote greater understanding and acceptance. Raised in Mobile, Alabama, she has spoken openly about growing up in an environment where expressing her true identity often resulted in bullying, isolation, and misunderstanding. Those experiences made childhood especially difficult, but they also strengthened her determination to pursue a life built on authenticity rather than fear. After studying dance and acting, Leverne moved to New York City, where she gradually built her career through independent productions before receiving the opportunity that changed everything. In 2013, she was cast as Sophia Bursette in the Netflix series Orange is the New Black. Her performance introduced millions of viewers to a transgender woman portrayed with emotional depth, humor, resilience, and humanity. Instead of reducing the character to stereotypes, the series explored family relationships, personal struggles, and everyday life, helping broaden public understanding. The following year, Leverne became the first openly transgender performer nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in an acting category. She also appeared on the cover of Time magazine, reflecting her growing influence beyond Hollywood. Today, Leverne continues acting while producing documentaries, delivering speeches, and advocating for equality. Through her work, she reminds audiences that meaningful representation can change perceptions, encourage compassion, and help create opportunities for future generations of transgender performers. Yasmin Finney represents a new generation of performers who have entered the entertainment industry with confidence, authenticity, and a determination to tell stories that were rarely seen on television just a decade ago. Born in Manchester, England, Yasmin discovered a passion for acting at an early age, while also becoming an outspoken advocate for transgender visibility through social media. Her honesty quickly attracted attention, allowing thousands of young people to connect with someone whose experiences reflected their own. Her breakthrough arrived when she was cast as Elle Argent in the acclaimed Netflix series Heartstopper. Rather than portraying a character defined only by gender identity, Yasmin helped bring to life a teenager with dreams, friendships, insecurities, and ambitions. The performance received praise from critics and audiences alike for presenting a transgender character with warmth and authenticity instead of relying on familiar stereotypes. Outside television, Yasmin has continued expanding her career through fashion campaigns, public speaking, and international acting projects, including joining the cast of Doctor Who. She frequently uses her growing platform to encourage self-confidence while promoting greater understanding of transgender experiences among younger and older generations alike. Although she is still at the beginning of her career, Yasmin has already become an important role model for many people. Her journey reflects changing attitudes within modern entertainment, demonstrating that talent, determination, and authenticity can open doors that once seemed impossible to enter. Jennings became one of the youngest public figures to bring national attention to conversations about gender identity. Born in South Florida, she first appeared on national television at just 6 years old during an interview with Barbara Walters. Speaking with remarkable confidence for someone so young, Chaz explained that although she had been assigned male at birth, she had always known she was a girl. For many viewers, it was the first time they had heard a transgender child describe such feelings in her own words. An important part of Chaz's story has always been the support she received from her family. Her parents chose to listen, learn, and advocate for their daughter, creating an environment where she could grow up feeling accepted. Their openness also helped many families better understand the experiences of transgender children and encouraged conversations that were once uncommon in mainstream media. In 2015, TLC premiered I Am Chaz, a reality series following her life as a teenager balancing school, friendships, family, and medical decisions related to her transition. Rather than presenting only dramatic moments, the program highlighted everyday experiences, showing audiences that her life included many of the same hopes, challenges, and milestones shared by young people everywhere. Today, Chaz continues writing, speaking publicly, and supporting organizations that promote understanding and acceptance. Her journey has encouraged many people to approach conversations about gender identity with empathy, reminding audiences that compassion often begins by listening to another person's lived experience. Elliot Page had already established an impressive career in Hollywood long before sharing one of the most personal truths about his life. Audiences first recognized his talent through acclaimed performances in Hard Candy and Juno, the latter earning him an Academy Award nomination and international recognition. He later appeared in major productions including Inception and Netflix's The Umbrella Academy, building a reputation as one of the industry's most respected performers. Despite his professional success, Elliot has spoken openly about feeling increasingly disconnected from the public image the world expected him to maintain. In December 2020, Elliot publicly announced that he is transgender through a heartfelt statement shared on social media. The announcement was met with widespread support from fellow actors, fans, and advocacy organizations, while also bringing renewed attention to the challenges many transgender people continue to face. Rather than making the moment solely about himself, Elliot expressed gratitude for the people who had supported him and encouraged greater compassion toward transgender communities. The following year, he became the first openly transgender man to appear on the cover of Time magazine, a milestone that reflected changing attitudes within mainstream media. In 2023, he published his memoir, Page Boy, offering an honest account of childhood, fame, mental health, and self-discovery. Today, Elliot continues acting while advocating for equality and greater understanding. His journey demonstrates that authenticity can exist alongside success, reminding audiences that living truthfully often requires remarkable courage, perseverance, and hope. Chaz Bono grew up in one of America's most famous entertainment families, but fame could not answer the questions he carried about his identity. Born in 1969 to legendary performers Sonny Bono and Cher, Chaz spent his childhood surrounded by cameras, interviews, and public attention. Millions watched him grow up, leaving very little room for privacy during some of the most important years of his life. Known publicly as Chastity Bono for many years, Chaz later shared that he had long struggled with a sense that the identity others saw did not match how he understood himself. After years of reflection and personal growth, he publicly began his gender transition in 2009. His experience was documented in the acclaimed film Becoming Chaz, which gave audiences an honest look at the emotional, medical, and personal aspects of transitioning later in adulthood. In 2011, Chaz made television history as the first openly transgender man to compete on Dancing with the Stars. For many viewers, particularly those unfamiliar with transgender experiences, his appearance helped replace assumptions with understanding by allowing them to know him beyond headlines. Today, Chaz continues working as an actor, writer, and advocate for LGBTQ+ equality. Through books, documentaries, interviews, and public speaking, he has encouraged respectful conversations about identity while emphasizing that every person's journey is unique. His story reminds us that discovering who you are is deeply personal, and that living honestly often requires tremendous courage, regardless of age or public expectations. Carmen Carrera first gained widespread recognition as a contestant on Season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race, where her confidence, elegance, and charisma immediately caught viewers' attention. Although many people first associated her with drag performance, Carmen later explained that performing on stage and living as a transgender woman are two very different experiences. After publicly embracing her identity, she began a new chapter that extended far beyond reality television. She used interviews, public appearances, and social media to explain the difference between drag performance and gender identity, encouraging audiences to understand that one is an art form while the other reflects a person's lived experience. By speaking openly, she helped challenge misconceptions that had persisted for years in popular culture. Alongside her advocacy, Carmen expanded her career into modeling, acting, and television. She appeared in fashion campaigns, magazine editorials, and entertainment projects, demonstrating that transgender models could succeed in highly competitive industries. Her growing visibility encouraged broader conversations about representation, while inspiring younger performers who rarely saw themselves reflected in mainstream media. Today, Carmen continues supporting equality, inclusion, and respectful dialogue through advocacy and public engagement. She believes that meaningful change begins with education and honest conversations rather than assumptions. By sharing her story with openness and compassion, Carmen has helped many people see transgender lives beyond headlines or stereotypes today. Fallon Fox became one of the most widely discussed athletes in mixed martial arts after publicly revealing that she was a transgender woman while competing professionally in 2013. Although she had already spent years preparing for a career in combat sports, her announcement shifted public attention away from her performances and toward a broader national debate about transgender participation in athletics. Before entering professional MMA, Fallon served in the U.S. Army and later pursued extensive martial arts training after transitioning. She fulfilled the medical and athletic requirements that governed competition at the time, allowing her to receive approval to compete. Even so, her participation generated strong and often opposing reactions from athletes, sports officials, medical experts, and fans. Supporters argued that Fallon had complied with existing regulations and deserved the opportunity to compete fairly under those rules. Critics questioned whether current policies adequately addressed competitive fairness and athlete safety. Those discussions extended far beyond mixed martial arts and eventually influenced conversations in many other sports around the world. Although her competitive career was relatively brief, Fallon's influence reached well beyond her record inside the cage. Her experience encouraged governing bodies to re-examine policies, review scientific research, and consider how athletic competition should balance fairness with inclusion. Regardless of individual opinions, her story remains an important part of the ongoing discussion surrounding transgender athletes, illustrating how one person's experience can contribute to larger conversations about sports, identity, and evolving public policy. Every journey you've seen today is a reminder that behind every familiar face is a deeply personal story. These public figures followed different paths, faced different challenges, and found the courage to live as their authentic selves. We hope their experiences offered new perspectives and greater understanding. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe to Hollywood Famosos, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories from Hollywood's past and present.